Hey guys, how's it going? It's 20, and yeah, we're back into trains again. So, it's kind of hinted that this morning, if you got this morning's quick little live stream. And yeah, the last couple of days, I've been bouncing around trying to decide which direction to go. This time of year, let me just say this, and I think I should get this out. Let me just say this. It's kind of a message for the season in general. First of all, Merry Christmas to everyone. My thoughts go with the people that are struggling right now. This is minuscule compared to some of the worries that you guys out there have, and the fear, and I totally get it. I've been in a situation where my income was week to week. I, didn't know if, how I could pay the bills sometimes, had to borrow money to pay the bills. You name it. I've been there. I've been very fortunate, actually. 2020 was the year where I made the most money I've ever made. And I know that is an oddity. It's not normal, and I don't say that to brag. I say that because I can say that out of a place of strength, knowing that I've been where you were, and it could have been very easily. Whoa, that's a little too loud for my liking. It could have easily been myself into a place. Wow, I gotta turn that volume up again. But I can barely hear it now. Here, I'll put the music up a little bit. Yeah, that's not bad. I was going through my microphone, that's why. Alright, let's get the music up a little bit here. Sorry, guys. That kind of... I always want to check my settings before I go on, but you know me. So yeah, my voice should be a little bit better than that, hopefully. I'll just turn it down a tiny bit. Get the right one. Oh. Figured I'd have some background music because we're going to be doing some work here. Boy, I'm really doing good. Get out there. I think that should work. Let's see how my levels are now. Well, at least I'm higher, so that's a good thing. Anyways, let's go to the chat real quick here. Nothing going on. Nobody there. That's cool. Okay. So yeah, as far as that little Christmas message I was getting before I got shit scared out of me. Yeah, my mind goes out to those that are suffering, and all I can say is that you have to keep on trying. You have to keep on fighting, and who are more fortunate to not just like give a hand out. There's more than money in this world. There's sometimes you just need a little hope. Sometimes you just need a little bit of optimism or distraction. If this channel gives it to you, I want to keep doing that. I want to keep on showing you the beauty of this world when so much things are scary at the moment. And they want it that way, let's just say. Let's just say the powers that be want it that way. And we can overcome that because they always underestimate humanity. And despite the conflicts, the difference of political stuff, religion, you name it, the truth is we're all humans, and oddly enough, we're all in this together. I hate using that term because it's been used as a really a bullshit call to arms type thing, that we're all in this together, but yet the rules of some people are different than others, you'll notice. Take that with a grain of salt. Coming from me, we are all in this together as human beings, and we need to find we need to deal with our differences and get together in the new year as far as finding how we can boost each other up. And believe me, the small businesses want you back if they could. There's a lot of small businesses that are suffering right now because of the lockdowns and all this other nonsense that's going on. I'm fortunate enough to be, like I said, in a small business that has had one of their best years as well. And I, ironically enough, have benefited from it. And it's my mission in 2021 to basically bring my good fortune and do whatever I can to bring happiness to other people. Not just say, I'm bored, I'm going to go to bed. Wait for the next day. That's kind of wasting my talent. So let's just start that. It's got a Christmas resolution, not a New Year's resolution, but let's get started. So we got a long way to go. I have a lot of figuring things out, but today I'm not going to be too much into Trainz itself. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So where do you begin? This is all about the grades. This is the sticking point that got to me. And it's one of the reasons why I looked into a drone. When you look at certain images, you can look, if you look from an angle of a drone as opposed to a Google Earth image, you can actually, you can't say for certain what the grade is, but you can tell the differentials. Ways of getting into certain places, even at low level, like say from the road, just to come up to certain areas to find out what a grade is, where you can't have access to, but you can just float above a little bit, get in there, see how tall the trees are. You don't get those from Google Earth images. In fact, I'll show you. So you go into Google Earth, and we go into an area such as Niagara, and I'll show you what I mean. Better image than the images that often come into play for trains that are imported into the Transdem that I use. So we're getting the overlays slowly. Don't crash on me. I gotta go into it anyways, so we're gonna work with all of that, and we are gonna work on the grades. I'm not gonna go into Trainz 2019. I don't think I'm even gonna get that far. So we're trying to load up all this stuff here. I'm not too sure what crossing that was, but let's just say it's out here somewhere. Okay. This is like really super detailed Google Earth. You can't even get Google Earth into Transdem. Now, when you take that, well, obviously that's a bad comparison, but the image that we had before, when you take something like that and compare it, it's very hard to compare because you're looking right down on top. Yeah, there is the certain angles depending upon the angle of the aerial imagery or whatever the heck it is, but this is from very high up. You can tell because it's straight down, top-down view. Might be on an angle, but anything, I can do a top-down view from my drone as well. So this does not show you anything as far as what the grade is, whether it's going up, down. You can't see it. When you're like here, you can see by the curvature how this goes up. Now I know this goes up. Usually anything that comes from water, everything's going to flow into the water. Water is going to be your lowest level, so you can obviously assume that this is going to be lower. You obviously know that this is going to be lower than the base here. You can see in a 3D view. In fact, I'll take you to the canal. We'll compare this just as an example like that. So you can see how much higher and lower it is just by looking at the bridges without even getting into elevation data. So if I was to go to the canal, for example, I'll go to the same spot. Now, my desktop's going to keep changing, so I can't keep on using these examples, but I wanted that I showed similar examples as far as... So this is the flight logs over here. And you have no idea other than the elevation as to what has changed. You can look at the elevation, and even the elevation is because what does it exactly mean? Like going from here to, is that 120? Is that what it's at? Is that really what it's at? Or because I used to, you know, does this go higher? Well, it does, so that's good. So it goes to 136 at this level. Once I got it down here, so it's at 120. So it's 127 there. It doesn't even show an elevation difference here, which is not right, because there is a bit of an elevation. There's at least, even when the water is on top, there's an elevation. Yeah, see, there's an elevation for that, so it's very misleading to say what that is. But we know that this is going up a hill here. And indeed, it does show relatively in a good estimate that indeed there is a hill that goes here. Keep in mind, it's always as good as the data points they have for the elevations. So if the data points are here and here, this may not capture every single spot. But so far, it looks like it does here. But it's only giving it like a meter, which is possible. But even down here, it's like they're saying it's 119 in some spots, they're saying it's 120 in some spots. Yeah, whatever. Let's not dwell on that too much. Now, see, this is more of an overhanging. You can't see as much, but you see a little bit with the bridge. Of course, I have better views. I can go 360 around that bridge into various locations. One last spot I can show you is, for example, we'll go to Jordan Harbor, and you might have seen that well, actually, I got a video up. Do I have it up? I should have it up by now. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, I do. I remember putting this. So on my channel, I have a video of this bridge. As you can see from this image here, you're not going to get a shot from anywhere unless you own this property, or if you're on a creek, or if you happen to be on the tracks and walk down or something like that. These roads do not give you the vantage point. I have actually seen images of this bridge, but there's going to be these places where you just don't see certain things. Now, the more popular bridges that have been kayaked on, yes, you're going to see images from it, especially with the internet. It's out there. And sure enough, I have good drone imagery in and around that bridge. Likewise, this bridge here, I have good drone imagery as well. So those things are good. Shadows work well, other things. You can see this is a built-up area here in comparison. You can roughly see where everything goes. But here's the bridge that I was just showing you right there. Now, mind you, it's like I said, that's more of an on-top view, but I have better screen captures of that bridge. So, anyways, we'll start with the grades first. We want to be able to start with the grades because, and this is going to be a multi-part series. This is something that I'm going to do. I'm going to start off a little bit, then I'm going to go into something else. So what we want to do is we want to work in Google Earth again. not too sure if I want to go as far as Trainz, but let me go so far. I want to go into one other site. Okay. I was dumb. I didn't mean to do it. Okay, so that's Fruitland, Stony Creek. I think that's as far as I go. Yeah. There we go. So the reason why I wanted to do that is I wanted to create another sheet this you should have anyways for all grade crossings, especially if you're going to be using a new system. Let me see. Okay. I don't know what RTS TRS 19 Niagara is all about. Oh, I see. Never mind. I don't want that. Okay, let's start with a new blank sheet. And so we want to create an index for the grade crossings. The mileage, okay, first of all, we'll go with the subdivision. And we'll start with Grimsby. The milepost. Actually, the name, yeah, we'll go with milepost. Street. Alright. So keep that. Oops, I don't want that. Exactly. So at mile 33.22. I forgot to do something. My apologies. I always forget this part. It's just my little advertising blurb, plus to indicate the music that I'm using. Again, thanks for the like, guys. I always appreciate that. So I'm just going to add this little... As always, I do appreciate the likes. Helps get more people into the videos, gets the word out there, etc. Okay, so my outpost 33.22 in operation on the Grimsby sub. That is McNelly Road. All right. So this is where it gets interesting. Google Sheets is, well, any sheet, any spreadsheet is very powerful because what it's going to do is, damn it, let's go. Let's get out of that. And then we go to the next one. 32.69 is the next one. .17. I'm going to do a few for now. Well, I'll just keep on going. I haven't gone too far yet. God damn. I'm used to going out of the windows. .67. Let's do it again. I did it again. Stop it. Stay in the window. You're working in the browser for now, Sean. Stop doing it. Brain farts like crazy. Can't even read what that says. I'll find that later. 30.9. Oaks Road North. 30.39. Hunter Road, 29.87. Okay, Casablanca, 29.37. I can't remember. Oh, Casablanca. All right. So, road names aren't as important. Let's go with that for now. I'll just call it ELEV, or elevation. Now I'm going to switch it over, and I will switch things around a bit here. Yeah, current window's too small. I kind of figured it would be. So that's Fruitland. Right there. So it pretty much says 85 meters all around this area here. That's what it's saying. So we're going to go with it because we have nothing else to go around. So 85 meters. There we go. Lewis Road? Lewis Road? Yeah, I think it's Lewis Road. Again, 85. And it could very well be flat here. There's no grade. This is probably a bad place to start, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So, at that point, Lewis Road to McAnally is flat. Or at least not noticeably enough. It looks like it's going up to 86. We'll go with 86. I don't know what street this is. We'll just go with it. I'll figure it out later. Oh, I see it now. That's when. Gone up a meter. '87 at 50 Road. Pretty much. Although I'm still going to give it an 86. I saw 87 somewhere. Like right there, but really. 86. Yeah. We'll keep with 86. That's calling 84 at Kelson. Okay. Oaks Road North is looking at about 86. Okay, so we're looking at 87. Did it really go up to 80? It went down to 84 there? I gotta see that for a minute. Yeah, it did. This is where the Dems get confused. There it's saying 80 at Hunter. Okay, and that's saying 88. Alright, let's get out of that for a second. And we're gonna start playing with some numbers here. So everything up to this point is this is the data that it's giving us. So I'm not sure what to call this yet, but I'm going to go into meters. In fact, I could go this way here. So usually when I write, usually when I'm in field or something like that, sometimes I'll put it as part of it. But what this is going to be is I'm going to translate this milepost into actual meters. To do that, you want to look at what the formula is. So if you just go into Google and you go from miles to meters, well, it says for an approximate result, multiply it by 1609. In reality, you want to multiply it by 160934 because I got a funny feeling that's going to go to 0.68. Okay. I'm going to go with I'll keep it at 2 decimal places, even though it's probably even more of a value than that. But let's go with 1609. So I want to multiply that by 1609.34. I don't know what the exact equivalent is. I don't have to be that exact. At that point, I'm getting anal. So 1609.34. Okay, no, that's miles to meter. Yeah, no, that's okay. Times B2. And I like that suggested autofill. So now what you're seeing is the meter post. The reason why you want to convert it to meters, first of all, what milepost you're at, is because you're using an elevation equivalent into meters. So now that you have the meter post, you can go into, I would start from the top. So what I normally do is I usually I'll color this with a background of something. So these are the ones you can fill in. Now, of course, you can lock the fields. I tend to not lock the fields. These are basically entries that I'm putting in. The grade, I gotta remember this. Gotta work this out to more simpler terms. 0.2% grade. Actually, let's do a 10% grade, as crazy as that is. So whatever the value is, I'm not too sure about that. Hang on a second. Now something ain't right there. I should know how to do this. I should know the formula for grade. It's there's something else here that I'm missing. What am I missing? Yeah, that's calculating grades. Ah. Rise overrun, okay. Oh, okay. All right. That makes more sense. So what the hell did I do? Yeah. Okay. So rise overrun. Okay. So C2 divided by now C3 I know what it is. Okay. C3. That's the rise. No, so that'll be E3, E2, E3, hello, minus E2, divided by C3 minus C2. Oops, helps if I put an equal sign. Oh, I liked it. I liked it. No. Undo that crap. I like that autofill. Do that autofill again. I like that. Ah. Autofill. Autofill. I love that feature. Okay, let me try to start from scratch. E3. Hopefully it'll do it again for me. I didn't mean to, okay. E3 minus E2 divided by C3 minus C2. Ah, it's not doing it. Ah! Okay, well, I tried. Alright. Well, so far, nothing huge. Those are perfectly... I didn't think this one would be. That's getting close to a 1% grade. This is the toughest grade right here, going from 84 to 87. But you can see, these grades are fine. When you're playing in the game, it's saying, well, you're doing 2%, and you're doing 5%, and ridiculous numbers. So you want to get this as close as you can to what the real value is. Now, the trick is, of course, going to be, how do you go about doing that and still trying to make this correct, but figure out what's going on. Now, this is... I originally thought the drone would be the answer to it, but the problem with the drone... Here's the issue with the drone. You can see I'm up above. So, regardless of how low I get, first of all, it gets dangerous getting too low. I'm going to find another shot here. I'll go into my screenshots and see what I have available. So, I'm going to head back a little bit. Okay. So, first of all, that's, you know, it's a side-on shot. It's not going to show grade or anything like that. That's a flat-on overshot. You can see there, though. You can see it kind of slopes. It's either curving or it's going. It goes into the distance this way. This is curving, but a lot of times rows and stuff like that will go to the contour of the land is. The contour of the land isn't so important here. what happens in Trainz is it finds averages of various things where there are height differences, and then it affects the actual track quite a bit. And you don't want that. So things are, but when you're up above like this, okay, I did want to be on it. And this is still not a good example because in reality, in an open field like this, with the exception of the hydro wires, I could fly fairly low. As long as I'm within good eyesight of seeing it. And then I have to take into account, what's happening. You don't want to be flying too far away and lose your drone, have it drop on the tracks or some stupid thing like that. You just don't want it. I've already, the first thing I ran into with the drone was when I was goofing around trying to be a hotshot, flying my drone really fast, very low to the ground, but I was doing it in sports mode. Now, luckily I didn't do anything goofy in sports mode to the point, but the sudden shift, I started taking off from ground, and I felt I was too low. So I stopped, then I corrected. The problem with that is I didn't know where my drone was underneath a tree branch. And it took it, and it basically got caught up in the tree, flipped, and fell to the ground. Fortunately, the snow probably helped its fall, although it was landing on the grass anyways. There was no damage, thankfully. As far as I can tell anyways. I think it needs a calibration. Even though it's not telling me it needs a calibration, I probably need to calibrate a couple things in that. Just to get it... oh, I'm going the wrong way now. But I'll show you an example. Like, that's not a good example either. Although if you're flying, say, on the road here and you got these trees, now I'm not too sure how much this used to be double track. It's not so bad. But I got a lot of non-train shots in here too, so that's just the way it is. You get so many trains and then you want to fly. And there's plenty of scenery out there, so. Okay. This again. Good example about flying low. And never noticed the one engine there. Oh, that's the rest of his train, I guess. That's the DPU. That's interesting. I never noticed that engine there after I did that. Go figure. Wow. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's at Port Robinson. Never mind. I was thinking that was at Fort Erie for a minute, because Fort Erie didn't make sense to me. I'm just like, okay, Port Robinson makes sense. So, of course, Port Robinson I'm not going to fly over very low because it's a man yard, and I try to keep my distance to a certain extent. Well, and nobody was there at the time. Again, open. Here's an example right here. If I was flying down this way, for example, especially, this used to be double-track mainline, but you can see the trees are coming in. They haven't been trimmed out. And a lot of times they don't get trimmed out. The trains are the ones that actually brush against the trees as they're growing forward. You ever notice an abandoned line, it's going to eventually spread over to the tracks to where the tracks are invisible. Because it's going to want to get bigger and expand its density by simply growing. So here, unless it's been recently trimmed, which there's a nice line, you're still flying within this spectrum, a very close spectrum here. You can easily divert over to the left, catch a propeller on that, and you kind of toast. So it's not the best way of trying to figure out elevation from a ground level standpoint. And that's what I kind of wanted to do, but I had a different perspective from that. what I ended up getting the perspective of was the angles perspective. You don't notice it as much when you're high, like real high. There was a good picture of the bridge. And these are the type of things you don't get on Google Earth, unless you have somebody who's actually taken some pictures and posted it. But you get relatively close, and you bring in the rest of the scene, so it makes for nice shots. Again, overhead, you get a lot of things you don't get on Google Earth, like how high does this go, and what's the side look like. You're getting what the windows look like. And you can fly in from different angles and do the same thing. So you can get 4 different angles, potentially. Now those are higher shots, which really don't show much of the track, but this is from the overall scene. I was looking at different things. Flying high, I was a fair way. I was actually closer toward. I was still further back from here where I took off, so I flew a pretty good distance, as you can see. This is where I flew from. I flew there from a few days ago again too. But this was over Gion at night. Again, in the daytime, the night perspective is neat because you can set up the lighting to make it look pretty cool at night. You get an idea. You don't get that on Google Earth. I mean, a day shot would be nice. I don't know if it would be potentially, intrusive, I guess is the word. You gotta be careful. I'm just seeing a look if there's any other pictures that might not really any other examples, but I've had some recently though. Up along here you can easily catch the tracks. There's a bridge there's an overpass up here which I actually want to fly from the next chance I get. And since the overheads I've had some pretty good success with the overhead shots. I feel relatively comfortable, especially in the double track areas of flying relatively low, because the signal lasts for a good amount of time. But of course, a lot of these are higher up, but some of these are pretty good. You can see the trees are well back here. It's not too bad. It hasn't really encroached. There's not too much. That's a really good overhead, and you can see that there's plenty of ballast in the side, but there's a tree right here. You got to be careful for those things. So just you got to be patient. Don't try to do everything all at once, and slowly or surely you get through all those shots. Okay. So, what do I want to do next? 3:30. I don't know how far I am on this. Now, these grades are nothing. So we're trying to do what we want to do now is compare this to actual imagery of the area. I gotta find it. So if I go into, let's see if I have it here. For example. If I go into my pictures, I may have it. So I got 30.9. Let's start looking into the various numbers. So this, as you can see, is a grade, what looks to be a grade going up to the next crossing, looking east at 30.39. Going up, looking to the west. So these ones are 32.17. Maybe we'll, as an example, we will look at this one. So I'm going to work my way over to 30.39. I'm not too far away, actually. 30.39 to 32.17. 32.17. Although I don't think I'm... Well, I do have a 32.17 west. I think that's McNeely anyways, if I'm not mistaken. Well, there we go. So, we have the grade crossing. The question is, from observations, what are we dealing with? I'm glad I started with that. That's really good. Here's some shots of McNeely. I still got some of those in there? That's crazy. Yeah, I gotta start organizing my pictures, I guess. Okay, so that's going back. That one? Oh, that's my title screen. Just look at the last one. I saw Trainz Route or something. Alright, so McNeely doesn't really say too much. And, you know, see, and you can tell by the way I'm taking the shots that I am indeed trying to get an idea of where we stand. So this is the north end of McNeely. This is probably McNeely. Yeah, McNeely would be McNeely Street or McNeely Road. Oh, that is McNeely. Sorry. So looking east to from McNeely, it downgrade. And it may not do it right away either. It's hard to say. It looks like it's you know, it's not going to be perfect because you're not going to get perfect all the way through, unfortunately. There is a mile marker there. Looking east from McNeely. So let me look west from McNeely for a second. I'm not worried about west of McNeely. If I look east at McNeely, I see the milepost, and I can probably figure out where that is. So now what I've done is I've renamed this RTS Niagara grade crossing in changes. Because somewhere in there is milepost 33. Now why it looks like it's going down is interesting. Because according to what am I looking at here? That's a Windows Live photo gallery. I'm looking at the same thing here. Close one of these up. Okay, there's Lewis Road now. I think I have better shots of both of them anyways. .17. No, I didn't. Okay. So McNeely Road. So hard to tell. So that's looking at the next crossing, which is Lewis, where the train is. I don't see much, although it looks as if it might be starting to climb at Lewis Road. So what's it tell me here? Well, it doesn't tell me much. 0.12% of a grade really doesn't matter that much to me. So it looks like it's trying to climb somewhere in the middle here, which makes sense. Now the question is, how much is it trying to climb? Yeah, Lewis Road comes up to where it's trying to climb. But I mean, these are really superimposed pictures. Right? They're really zoomed in, so I don't know if the grade is that apparent or necessary. Like I said, it's that perfectionist thing again. Well, let's see what Google Earth has to say about it. Sometimes it's as simple as a creek. And that's it right there. See it? Like I said, sometimes it's as simple as a creek. So according to this, Lewis Road is actually pretty flat compared to that. We already know there's a big difference. How much of that is a difference? I can't tell you, because I'm zoomed in, but you look at McNeely Road, it looks like it's going down. Then again, it's zoomed in. But I do notice a difference, so how much is a meter? I may have to take some flights when I get a chance. Of course, this is the worst time of the year, weather-wise. I think that's where it goes over, and it's not too bad. it looks like it climbs up and then it kind of shoots down, moving forward. So I might be seeing into the distance here, but let's see here what we got. And I don't know if 30.9 is visible. I doubt it. I mean, it could be that because it's zoomed in that much, it's probably not. So this is a tough one. Like I said, perfectionist, probably not going to make much of a difference, but it might. I don't know. That to me looks distinguishable. It's not really zoomed in. Definitely. I mean, we're practically, at least, you know, that could only be half a meter. I'm not sure though. Look at the grand scheme, like that's zoomed in, but that's the train going through. That definitely is going down. How far it goes, I'm not sure. There's mile 31. Yeah. So that's one of those things. So once you do the math, you realize, according to Google Earth, the grade isn't much at all. According to DEM, it is for some reason, but then it averages out elevations and does all kinds of things. Let's, we got a little bit of time. Let's get into Trainz and see what the DEM's saying. We'll finish this off by going into Trainz and basically seeing what it's saying. Do I even have an icon anymore? That's pretty sad if I don't. Yeah, yes I do. Of course I do. Well, I guess I gotta do an update with Trainz anyways. I don't know how long this is going to take. I forgot that there was another patch. Where I can find on my son's computer. He's told me everything's fine. I mean, the big concern with me for grade is if I'm going to make any changes to the DEM, that it's one of the last things I do and I make sure I got it right. So I remember that warning was out there, and then eventually it's, you know, I get stuff, you know, that was kind of a warning that stuck with me, but on the other side they basically said, there's nothing you can do about it. You're ultimately, you know, you got to decide for yourself. You're never going to get it perfect. Of course, I want it to be perfect. I want it to be as good as I can get it. But that's all you can do, really. Operation complete. All right. Why is it asking me to... Well, it's going into the asset database right now. Why is it asking me about... Remind me to tomorrow. I've already done it. Oh, now it's going to go through my database. You know, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. It's getting a little too long for my liking. Oh, maybe not. Gonna wake up? What are we adding to the YouTube channel here? Now, it's been over an hour. I want to get into it, I really do. Come on. That's kind of quiet. Oh, you guys are killing me. Okay. I think I'm going to give it up. 3:49. I got things to do. Yeah. No, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go and let this go for now and check out some of the stuff later on. Tweak the values a little bit. Next time we'll go over some of it and we'll take it from there. Anyways, guys, I hope you had a good one. Sorry I couldn't get into Trainz and actually show you some stuff. I wasn't planning to get that far, but that's what you want to do, is you just go through your points first, find out the actual data, and you know, you find out the actual data first, and then you look at what your transdem is saying. And eventually you've got to find a happy medium that makes sense for what your eyes are seeing in the field, and what, like, because if you look at Google Earth is another good example, because Google Earth is not zoomed in like I am. I'm doing that to try to find where the actual grade changes. But if you look at Google Earth and it doesn't look like much is changing, chances are it's not, because the grade is that small. So, but you wanna flatten it out as much as you can, and the escarpment I don't think is more than 1% grade. I highly doubt it, but we'll see what happens once we start getting the elevation up the escarpment.